welcome to Murrayfield, where the rain is sweeping across the stadium. England have been made to wait. It's an old tactic up here in Scotland. Keep the old enemy out there getting cold for as long as you dare. And they'll have to wait a little bit longer. It's anthem time. Sweeping down from overhead. A couple of tornadoes should come thundering over any second, just to spice things up a bit. Meanwhile, Scotland, plenty of power in the second row. Nathan Himes and Scott McLeod, who came over his little drug ordeal, not declaring his asthma drugs. A little bit of a controversy in Scotland. Watch out for the back row, Alistair Strokosh. And behind the scrum, they've only scored one try in the entire Six Nations, that by Simon Webster, who turns 27 this very day. England formidable in the front five. Simon Shaw and Steve Borthwick. They have had injury upsets in the back row. Tom Croft starts at 6. And behind the scrum, well, it's a lot of Newcastle there. And will Leslie Vainicolo get a lot of ball? Who will come off the bench? Who will have an impact in the later stages of this game? Brian Ashton, it's been a tricky week for the coach. Had to drop Danny Cipriani, of course. We are waiting for the planes, and you can just see the low cloud over Murrayfield. The squall is upon us. We've had sun, we've got wind. Jonathan Kaplan of South Africa. Tornado F3s. Good afternoon, Brian.
Good afternoon, and we had to wait for that. I don't see why. Might look great spectacle. The players have been out there for a good 6-7 minutes. They want to get on with the game. Let's get on with the game and not silly little spectacles like that.
As I said, good afternoon, Brian. Scotland versus England, the old Calcutta match rivalry. We're underway. Johnny Wilkinson. Simon Taylor back in the Scotland team after surgery to his thumb. Mike Blair, who has become Scotland's captain in the absence of Jason White, who is on the bench today. He's over his concussion. Nick Easter, who was limping heavily last weekend for his club side Harlequins. He does have ongoing trouble with that knee injury, but he took the ball up well there. Toby Flood to Phil Vickery, the England captain.
Stay.
England very compact on this tight side. Good drive on. Did that go forward? Pick up by Simon Shaw. It did.
First mistake from England. Very difficult to predict the wind out here, Eddie. If you look at the flags at the top of the stadium, they've blown both ways in succession. It's swirling around. The rain is now less than it was, but I think Scotland have marginally got an advantage from that. That's all, and here they go.
Mike Blair takes it quickly. As usual, the Scottish back row right on his shoulder. Now Chris Patterson, one for Ian Bolshaw. Not the last time I suspect that will happen today, but that's an easy one for Bolshaw.
You say easy one, that will be a great fillip for him, because he's not been in the best form with balls in the air, and I would expect that to be a Scottish tactic for quite a few more plays yet.
Here it comes again. Here's Johnny Wilkinson underneath it. I think one thing is absolutely clear today. 1 point for Johnny Wilkinson, and he becomes the leading point scorer in Test match history. There's been a recalculation of the Test matches. I'll explain later. Anyway, here come England through Toby Flood. Flood and Wilkinson happy to interchange at half-back. Hugo Southwell drops it. Didn't go forward. It'll be interesting to see that again. Scotland have scraped this back, or have they been turned over? No, Scotland in possession. Prop Alan Jacobson. That's gone back too. Play on, says referee Kaplan. The rain still coming down. It won't make the kicking easy for Johnny Wilkinson.
It makes the ball more difficult to retain, and the team that looks after it better, obviously, has a clear advantage, and England have a bigger front five. If Scotland are going to kick, they have to get men under the ball. They can't just kick ball down the field, expect people to drop it. They must have players under the ball.
Nick Easter having a word in Lee Mears' ear. Simon Shaw, one of the tall building blocks in the middle of the England line-out. That's surely not straight.
Not straight by 2 yards.
Play on, says the referee. And he had a look at touch judge Carlo Damasco on this side. That's definitely an advantage to England. Here's Lee Mears, who's taken over from Mark Regan. Richard Wigglesworth, who had such a good game in Paris. Wilkinson. Mike Blair waits. Well taken by Scotland's scrum half and captain. Fine catch under pressure. Simon Webster. Wilkinson. It's very slippery out there. You can just see this sort of sheen on top of the Murrayfield turf, and that may happen a lot today. The ball sliding off boots. Now then, Ian Bolshaw, a chance to counter-attack. Easter, Lee Mears, Simon Taylor, and Scott McLeod with the twin tackle. Wigglesworth caught slightly behind the restart situation. England still in control there. Slow ball for England. Wilkinson poised for a kick. Chris Patterson. And then Ian Bolshaw. Oh. Well, even though the ball took a bit of a spin off the turf, it hasn't been a harrowing opening for Ian Bolshaw, has it, Brian?
No, and you can see from the way that all players are slipping around, the surface is very, very precarious. The same applies for England, though, as to Scotland. If you're going to put ball up, you really have to have men underneath it. It's no good just fielding balls long and expecting players at this time to drop the ball.
Rossford to throw in to the lineup. Up goes Nathan Hines. Oh, that's a real mess. And we'll start again. Scott McLeod giving the calls there.
Yeah, I think it was a mix-up on the calls. When you see the ball not going anywhere near, it's probably not the hooker.
A lot of dummy jumping going on. The end result is that Scotland have claimed it. And they've won themselves a penalty against Andrew Sheridan going in from the side. Chris Patterson wearing 10. Not much ground gained, but it will be Scotland's throw on near the 10-metre line.
Well, about 12 metres gained, and the wind, as far as I can see, is a bit more decisively now in Scotland's favour. But as you say, their line out and not one.
Once again, through the line.
Steve Borthwick penalised for going through the line. You can't move until the ball...
Well, it's going to cross the line of touch, which means the imaginary line going between that. That's a much better kick, isn't it? First chance to Scotland, first real chance there. I don't think he's offside there, it doesn't matter what I think, the referee's given it. And Scotland have a perfect attacking platform. They haven't thus far been able to convert these into tries. They won't get as many chances as they'd like, so it's essential, and that's a good start.
Nathan Hines with the catch. Scotland will look for the big drive. And they've got themselves another penalty. England stopping the driving more illegally, coming in from the side, and early warning from the referee. There's Frank Haddon, the Scotland coach.
Let's see what he has to say.
Continue, you're going to lose personnel. Players coming in from the side regularly and line out to end.
Well, I don't know if he gave that against Easter. I can't see that because there was no English player. That ball had been rolled round, but England have been warned now. Third offence in a row. Be going to his pocket. Perfect start for Scotland if this goes over.
Chris Patterson, fantastic record of successful kicks. Chris Patterson, 26 out of 26. I say that with slight trepidation because it's the sort of thing that means he'll now miss, but 27 out of 27.
That really is a remarkable record, isn't it? Not to have failed on any one out of 20. I mean, well, it's astonishing, really.
It is unbelievable, isn't it? It's just such a record. Saltire's waved.
Very important for Scotland to take the initiative in terms of the score as well, because they'll want the crowd behind them, so that England have to battle against a scoreline and home support.
And there's a rainbow over Murrayfield, there's sunshine on the turf, but it's still sticky down there. Good drive by the Scotland forwards, well snaffled though by Simon Shaw. Paul Sackey, not quite so deft by the wing.
And offside. Offside. And offside.
Oh, sun and rain. Oh, dear. We do have a variety of conditions here. That's a very good kick by Chris Patterson. He's dead-eyed off the floor, and he's not bad out of hand either.
Well, I've been told he hasn't missed a kick since last August. How important has he been, given the inability of the Scottish backs to put the ball over the line? A double rainbow here now. What portent that is for Scotland, I don't know.
No, not offside this time. Drive on by Lee Mears. Stolen ball by England on the Scottish throw.
Wait there, 5. Wait, 5.
You can't tell necessarily there, but the ground is cutting up. Advantage being played. I think Paul Saki may have made contact a little early, but it's play on. Nick Easter heading back to join Johnny Wilkinson, who will pick up. The left boot of Hugo Southwell. That's a very good kick by the fullback.
Well, Scotland are winning the kicking duel quite decisively. Was it early?
Yes.
Yes, marginally, yes, it was. But the referee didn't give it. And for Scotland's perspective, I don't think they'll care because they're right down in England's territory again.
In you go.
Scotland
Out,
that close to the England line. They're on a sort of defensive mission. Frank Haddon watches as will Scotland compete hard on the England throw now. Who will jump? It's another shuffling and moving, and Steve Borthwick claims it safely for England. He's had a good Six Nations, Steve Borthwick.
Hold there, stay on the side.
Wigglesworth with the boot. Nicky Walker above his head. Saki follows up alongside Michael Littman. Scotland have done well because that was 1 against 3, one catcher against 3 tacklers for one moment. That's a good offload by Mike Blair to Alistair Strokosh, the Gloucester flanker. Patterson, Scotland not taking this ball wide at all. On they come, close to the set pieces, close to ruck and maul. The ground cutting up. England may have turned it over. Yeah. Now it's Wigglesworth looking to get this ball away to Toby Flood. The Ospreys winger seeks touch and finds it.
England had no possession really to work with in the Scottish half, and when Scotland do get chances like that deep down English territory, they have to come away with points. Did it on one occasion.
Carry on.
One thing I'd like to stress actually to viewers at home, it isn't apparent from the pictures here, but the pitch is very, very heavy indeed, and it's very slippery, and that's very not straight.
And play on again. Advantage England for the second time. Jamie Noon, little bit of width from England, looking to stretch play across the field into the sunshine, but it's been ripped out of their possession by Scotland. And a first touch for Rory Lamont on the far side. Alan Jacobson stays on his feet well. And it's been stolen back by England and given away to Nicky Walker. Walker, big, strong runner. Not releasing, penalty against Walker.
At the end of the day, Eddie, you know, one side has got to show a little bit more ambition simply than chipping the ball and hoping the other side is going to make a mess of it. Both sides have just punted the ball forward, at times with a bit more application than others, but little more than that.
England at least will have an attacking line-out on the Scottish 22.
Well, 15 minutes and it's the first time England have had any sort of platform at all.
Make sure he comes down.
Jill, down there where it's wet and sticky on the touchline.
Oh, okay.
Well, you talk about the conditions here. We're right by the pitch and it's carrying up pretty badly. I'm alongside Shane Geraghty, London Irish centre, who's out injured at the moment. But what do you make of this early exchanges between England and Scotland?
I think Scotland have started extremely well. Their kicking game's really coming to the fore. Kind of Chris Patterson's knocked the penalty over already, and I think they'll be really happy with how they've started. England, on the other hand, have not been able to keep the ball beyond 2 or 3 phases, which is a really bad thing at the moment. Hopefully they can progress and get beyond and get the likes of Jamie Noonan and Vainikolo into the game. He's not touched the ball yet, so I'm really looking forward to seeing that.
And as expected, Ian Bolshaw facing 1 or 2 high balls.
Yeah, I think within the first 30 seconds he took his first one really well, and I'm sure there'll be many more of them to come today.
Thanks, Shane.
England gave away possession at the line-out. Scotland safe enough at the scrum that followed. Southwell, low, hard, into the churned-up tram lines. Paul Saki launches the counter-attack. Now then, Big Leslie, Vainicolo gets the offload in, but it's advantage Scotland. Ball goes loose, still advantage Scotland. Knock on there. No, knock on. Simon Webster. Walker switches play. It's there for Blair. Ross Ford.
Keep rolling.
Scotland only putting 1 or 2 into the rucks. Scott McLeod to Blair. Nathan Hines. Southwell to Webster.
Hold.
Simon Taylor.
On me.
Now they can take it either side. They go towards Patterson. Numbers working for Scotland. Lamont. England closed the gaps quickly. Mike Blair loses out to Wigglesworth. And there's the left foot of the England scrum half, pushing Hugo Southwell way back towards his own posts.
Well, Eddie, this has been one of Scotland's problems. They had multiple phases there, and just for a second they had a 4-on-3. Ball being knocked down there by Toby Flood. He looks round, am I offside? Well, it's not being given, but the problem for that man is that ball that has been looking prospectively good. Again, 4-on-3 there, but they turned it into a 3-on-3 by a missed pass for no reason.
Beautiful day here now. Wind is strong, but
Stay out.
there's Steve Borthwick. A few marks of the fray. Wilkinson, Jamie Noon, Nick Easter out in midfield. Now England have gaps on both sides. They keep going left, and it's knocked on. Advantage Scotland. Ooh, scrappy old game this, Brian.
It's a scrappy old game, especially when you consider. Well, Basson Wilkinson, Flood. Now then, is this a bad pass or has he overrun it? I think he's overrun that slightly. Which is a shame from England's point of view, because the drive from the ball from the line out had gone well over the gain line and the ball had come back very quickly, and that was undoubtedly a chance.
Moving, not steady. There's your mark. Come in, please, too far. Crouch.
That side of the pitch is almost untouched.
Pause, engage.
Andy Nicol.
Same thing again.
Oh, I beg his pardon. He's brewing up to say something. He's nearly ready.
He's working up some indignation.
Well, Scotland are 3-0 in front.
Crouch.
It may not be the best, but they're
Pause, engage. Bind up here.
they're ahead. Blair, the little dink forward. That's a good kick. And Vainicolo knocks on. 2 mistakes by England's winger. Chance for Scotland. Nathan Hines charges on. Scotland's best move. All comes from an England mistake. Simon Webster. England may have turned it over. Yeah. It all comes to nothing. Chance for Bolshaw. That's not a bad kick either.
That's a very good kick.
Bolshaw, if he'd really have gone for it. Oh, Bolshaw, feet first. Oh, that hurts. Away come England through Tom Croft, who is very quick. Advantage
Penalty.
to England. Penalty advantage.
Taken off the ball. Should be a yellow card.
There's Ian Bolshaw. He didn't, well, maybe he's injured and didn't set off at a real gallop after his own kick. But Scotland, there was nobody at home for a moment.
Well, he did remarkably well. I mean, he had about 6 inches to run of touch for the angle. Now then, is there any foul play here? I don't think there's any intent there. They both went in knee first. They both got caught. There, look.
Oh.
Well, he does catch him, but I think it's accidental.
Yeah, accidental.
I know people accuse me of being biased, but that's how I saw it. Thereafter, if you,
ouch.
yeah, I think if you look at that,
and I think it's Rory Lamont and Ian Bolshaw both. Yeah.
well, the problem really comes, I think Bolshaw's knees caught his head, didn't they?
Yeah.
That's the other thing. It wasn't that's why it looks bad.
Knee on temple.
Yeah.
Out cold. And Bolshaw doesn't look too good either.
Yeah. Yep.
And Tom Croft very nearly broke away for England as a covering back by Mike Blair.
It's there. You can just see it in the corner of the picture. There's a man taken out early, which I think is what the referee was concerned about.
We do. He's out cold, and Ian Bolshaw is unhappy too. So that little incident may have cost both sides a player. Mind you, it's not the first time we've seen Ian Bolshaw limping his way around a rugby field. He's not going off, he's staying on. Scotland medical staff, meanwhile, taking a lot of care about this.
I don't think so. I don't need to hit.
Rory Lamont will take no further part, and this is I mean, they do take care. Anything to do with head and neck injuries, they err on the side of caution. So we're just hoping that this is just one of those occasions when do not move him is the first order.
Well, I can't believe this. There's some whistling in the crowd. You know, a guy's down. He's obviously got a neck injury. The collar is out. I don't know who is whistling. Whoever it is. Disgrace.
Dan Parks prepares to come on. The clock, of course, has stopped bang on the end of the first quarter. That's a scrappy old affair, and now it's a painful affair.
Well, people are now slow hand clapping, but for God's sake.
Andy Nicol, what do you make of this first quarter?
Well, thanks, Eddie. I mean, it's a shame, obviously, Rory Lamont's getting treated for injury now, but if we just take it back a few minutes, there was a clear opportunity for England. This is for Scotland. This is turnover ball, and this is manna from heaven. You're going to get a lot of it today, but look at this. Number 13, Simon Webster. Outside him is Nicky Walker. Look who's defending against him. It's Lee Mears that I've highlighted just here. Nicky Walker has to stay on the outside and go and have an attack on that angle there to look at to Paul Sackey, but what he does, he comes in and he just the play falls down. Nicky Walker has to stay out for that play to continue. Scotland will not get many opportunities, and when you get them, you have to take them better than that.
We still wait for Rory Lamont to leave the field. Ian Bolshaw, who seems to have walked off his own knock.
Another thing about this, Eddie, is you can never tell how the game is affected by these things, which side starts better after one.
Yeah, it's a long time to be standing around doing nothing. Ian Bolshaw, he'll be grateful for the little break because he's got a knock. There's Simon Webster, Nathan Hines. You've got to keep yourself warm. You've got to keep the old brain engaged. Don't lose concentration. You're worried about your teammate. Is he okay? It's a chance for the likes of Steve Borthwick to get himself patched up. Dan Parks is on the field. Of course, he won't be a straight replacement for Rory Lamont. Chris Patterson presumably will go out to the wing, and Parks goes to his standoff position.
As I say, you can't really tell how this will affect people, but if I had to make a guess, I would think it would favour England, because Scotland want to keep the game fluid. They want to run England's bigger front five around and turn them. But England have had a relatively scrappy start, and they've got time to settle down, have a chat and say, you know, we're in the Scotland half for the first time, really, and let's start again.
Well, I would imagine that Parks will kick even more towards Bolshaw than Chris Patterson. He's recognised as the better kicking option out of hand. Rory Lamont leaves the field, and this is a sweeper sound. We will start with a line out and an England throw.
Well, let's hope that is not as serious as it looks. But anyway, on with the game, an England penalty. Taking man off the ball. And I would think that England will catch and drive this, stay here as long as they need to. It's important for them to get some points on the board. And conversely, for Scotland, this is the first time they've been under serious threat to keep their line intact.
Here is that England line out. I've got a bit ahead of myself there.
Let's go.
Kick to touch first. Lemieux. Croft right at the tail with Lippmann and Borthwick, who catches, and Nathan Hines has to get out. The drive is bound to come on. Scotland desperate, driving it in field, but here comes the white surge for the line. Defence is good.
Keep going, keep going.
Wigglesworth watches and I think orders the forwards on. But Scotland's fringe defence is good again. Wigglesworth drags players in, pushes them back in, pulls players round from the fringes, and Scotland's defence not only holds out, but it's taken England back to the line of that line out. 5 metres out. And Scotland break the law by coming in from the side. What do you do here, Brian? Another line out, scrum perhaps?
I would think so. I don't think underfoot, especially on this side, the kicking conditions are particularly good for the kickers non-foot. I think it's different on the other side. England are going for this again. The important thing that they didn't do in the first occasion, they've got to just get the line out set and the drive position set. Doesn't matter if they go backwards, they get them set and then put the pressure on. And Scotland have to drag it down as quickly as they can, not let it get set and just blast it.
Target is Simon Shaw this time. Lemieux goes in to secure the ball from his second row. It's good defence again. 5 metres out.
Wait six.
The cleaner shirt of Richard Wigglesworth waits behind the muddy forwards. Michael Lippmann hits the blind side and it's stopped. Good tackle on him.
Vainikolo is stood at outside centre here, or fullback position.
Just outside Jamie Noon. They may have to wait until the forwards are done with it. Went backwards, says the referee, Simon Shaw. Gone scrappy for England. Wigglesworth, try-scorer against France, is bundled into touch, and that is a little victory for Scotland.
It's a huge victory in the circumstances, because they were under threat. Well, should never have come back that, but watch this defence. Wigglesworth in himself is not an insubstantial player, but dragged and dumped out.
Scotland, scrappy ball for them, and England have taken that. Knock on by Scotland. England put knock on by England, sorry. Scottish put in.
But that is a third throw, I'm afraid, from Ross Ford that's been too low. He has to get that ball up. He's not giving his jumper a chance.
Jill, any news on that injury?
I can tell you that he's being treated for obviously a head injury, but the word from the medical team is he's all right. That's, I'm sure, a great relief to the Lamont family who are listening in and watching this match. He is okay, but he's being looked after by the medical team in the medical room at the moment after taking that very nasty hit on the head.
Thanks, Joel. Let's hope the medical bulletins carry on in a positive note. Of course, that's 2 Lamont brothers out injured now. Sean, bad knee injury, out for the entire season.
Well, the game has been scrappy thus far, not just because of the conditions, but because neither side has really chosen to put together phases of play, kick ball away, but also the quality of the first pace possession hasn't been particularly good. You know, a lot of the line-out ball has been sort of bobbled around, and people have had to clear it up going backwards.
Rory Lamont, it's not the first time he's gone off on a stretcher. I think Italy in the World Cup, wasn't it? He was taken off. I was just thinking, Brian, looking back to the last replay, how much, when the players trying to get grip on this very sticky surface, you know, a lot of mud flying up, and you can't tell from there, but it's not easy out there. And mind you, the England front 5 will want to do a number on the Scottish scrum here. Well, there's a little victory for the English. Front forwards there. It's Ewan Murray. Free kick against the tight head prop. And England going for the scrummage. It was only a free kick.
Well, a sensible option, because here we go. Can't see from there because, well, he's not binding properly. The tight head there, the Scottish tight head's got his bind on the arm. Not allowed to bind there, and it's right in front of the referee. So whether it was him that actually took the scrum down, he's going to get pinged because the referee just says, well, sorry, but your arm's in the wrong place.
Not many internationals from the second tier of club competition now. Another injury here. Ewan Murray plays for Northampton, who are top of the second division, as it were, in England. Ross Ford coming off. So another enforced change for Scotland. They've lost the right winger, and now they've lost their number 2, their hooker, their thrower in, and Fergus Thompson straight on. Quick word, Gregor Townsend in the studio.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a start-start game. I think Scotland went into this game with 5 forwards and 2 backs on the bench, and with Dan Parks coming on so early, it's maybe a gamble that won't pay off if there's another injury in the backs. But what they're really worrying now is the scrum, where England are dominating through Sheridan.
Cheers, Gregor. Just looking there at Phil Vickery, was danger of him turning in there, Brian?
Quite probably, but it depends where his arm goes. If he, look, watch on the bind here on the hit. Does he get it onto?
Pause and go.
Well, no one's got it on there either.
Oh, England get the penalty.
Take the bind.
You know why?
Oh, he didn't take the bind.
No, he didn't allow him to take the bind. You watch this when he goes in. Well, then Wilkinson's kicking. If he kicks this, he'll have the world record points from Neil Jenkins. Only needs 1 now. But if we can, I think we can see the scrummage again. When he comes in, he's trying to punch for a long bind here, and there you are. The Scottish loose end's got hold of his arm, not allowing him to put it on, not allowing him to get a bind.
Here we go. Now, Johnny Wilkinson will become the leading point scorer in Test match history, because the 20 points he scored for the British Lions against Argentina before the tour to New Zealand has been officially registered as a Test match. So he's caught up with Neil Jenkins a bit sooner than was anticipated. Here he is, this to become the leading point scorer in international rugby, the one and only Johnny Wilkinson. He's done it. Johnny Wilkinson moves ahead of Neil Jenkins. 1,093 points. Remarkable tally.
Well, it is, and no matter what anyone says about what he can or can't do, you've got to at least pay respect to that, especially when you consider how many games he's missed.
That was a bit clumsy by Simon Shaw. He got out of it well in the end, but he flirted with the touchline. Wilkinson for touch. Well, this has been a weird old game. It's 3-3. We've had a long stoppage for injury. What a week for Brian Ashton. All the trouble that went with the Cipriani affair and zero tolerance, or was it a last warning that went awry? Whatever. It's been a difficult week for Brian Ashton. Good ball off the top for the Scottish backs. Dan Parks, the first touch.
Keep rolling, 7. Hold there.
Scotland drive it up in midfield and then switch immediately for Parks to thread one through. Not a great kick. Toby Flood under pressure from Simon Webster.
That's a penalty.
Webster tackling the man on the ground. England, though, safely with the ball. And again, not much distance from Johnny Wilkinson.
Well, Jonathan Kaplan choosing not to see that as a penalty, but definitely was. Not allowed to dive on a man on the floor. Simple.
Good ball again off the top. Same old pattern. Hard up into midfield, but this time not the switch. They carry on going. The drive on by Alistair Hogg. Alan Jacobson, the prop.
Ball is out.
And they still keep going up that short side. Now they switch. Parks. The break attempt by Graham Morrison. Scotland still in possession. Parks, Jacobson again. Oh, the props. Ewan Murray involved. Oh, that's a silly penalty to give away. No need. Andrew Sheridan. England were in control of the defensive situation there, and then they've given Scotland a chance for 3 points.
Slowing the ball down. Where you go? Where you go? Where you go?
No point in arguing about it.
Half the equation.
Let's have a look. The thing is, the receiving player does not form part of the ruck. And if you have any doubt as to whether or not to go for that, you look around and say, is it within kicking distance first? If it is, don't do it.
You basically can't take out the scrum half, can
No.
you? Know,
or drag him in.
No, no. Andrew Sheridan protested his innocence, but all in vain. This is the upshot. Chris Patterson succeeded with his first attempt. He succeeded with his last 27 attempts. Scotland move ahead at Murrayfield. Strange game, but they're in the lead. Johnny Wilkinson to Simon Taylor.
Hold there, hold.
I think it's very deliberate by Scotland. They love to set up rucks, break down situations right in the middle of the field. Now then, Easter took it quickly to Wilkinson.
That was about 5 yards, not straight, that throw.
Southwell with the safe catch.
Dive. 10 wide.
Experimental law variation, that sort of throw-in will be allowed.
You're right, but we haven't got experimental law variations, and that is a deliberate pull. Well,
that's a dive by Johnny.
No, what's his right arm there? Yeah, he dived, but he was caught.
Well, in my book,
well,
it may have been a technical penalty.
Of course it would be in your book.
If you dive, you don't deserve a penalty.
Oh, I see, right, so... Oh, I see, OK. It's not because it's Johnny again, is it?
No, not at all.
Oh, sure, all right.
Well, we just...
That was a penalty. Having said that, the line-out throw was 5 yards not straight to start with,
Count up.
Steve Borthwick.
Why did he have his arm up there? Why did he have his arm up there?
Good take again by Ball. That wasn't such a good delivery. Ball slipped out of Borthwick's grasp. And he is dragged towards the touchline, but the England hooker did well to make the ball available a yard from the touchline. Wigglesworth for Saki to chase, and Nick Easter, and Simon Shaw. But I think it's Mike Blair who claimed it. Oh, England scrum. So the little ploy worked.
Well, I think the referee's been generous to England there because they weren't going forward. I know the balance. I know it's been a scrappy game, Eddie, but the Scottish lead, I think, is probably what they deserve, because they at least have been going through the phases and trying to retain the ball. And England really showed very little ambition and not kicked particularly well.
A brilliant catch by Mike Blair. That's the second of this half.
Don't shift this out. Crouch. Don't take it.
A word
Okay, shift up.
to tight head Phil Vickery
No, not so much.
and loose head Alan Jacobson.
That's your mark. Don't make me. Here's your mark. Crouch. Go back, shifting off. Right.
Free kick against Scotland for shifting off. I'll leave that one for Brian. Simon Shaw, good angle by the big second row. A glimpse of a very skillful player. That's not so good by Andrew Sheridan. Knock on.
Well, again, England not
Don't you start.
being able to put together more than two phases of play.
But I'm not asking you, I'm telling you what I want.
Good hit there by Nathan Hines. Bit of American football hit there, bit of afters there. That's partly frustration that he did that, and I am sure that Nathan Hines had a word with him.
I think players work on Nathan Hines' temper because it's hot.
Yes.
Oh dear, that was a funny kick by Dan Parks. It's actually turned into something pretty good. Paul Saki retrieved it, ran into a wall of tacklers. England, though, have the ball, so the winger did his job.
Wait out.
Toby Flood to kick this time.
Watch ya.
Now then, Dan Parks kicked from a long way out, and that's just not very good. Ian Bolshaw. That's just the kick downfield towards Mike Blair.
Leave him.
That's a kick downfield towards Johnny Wilkinson. Oh.
Wait ya.
The ball goes back and forth. Simon Webster will now put boot to it. Toby Flood. Hugo Southwell kicks. Well, something comes in the end from the old ping-pong, and it's Scotland on the attack. Nicky Walker drifts across field, saw forwards in front of him and tried to go through two of them, and is collared. The winger strong enough to... Oh no, he's not.
Turned over.
Turned over by England.
12, 13.
Wilkinson, and the old kicking game starts all over again, except this time the ball goes into touch. A bit of merciful release really, but the rain comes down again and the wind flaps the flags horizontal. Foul day again.
It is, I suppose, the players' explanation for multiple kicks is simply that they don't want to get caught in their own half, but at the end of the day, one side, and Scotland have done this more than England, have got to have the faith in their own ability to keep possession of the ball, because one thing's sure, if you've kicked it, you can't score points.
Scotland throw, Nathan Hines towards Mike Blair, and the kicking battle starts all over again. Leslie Vainicolo makes the mark. Little kick to himself. Go on, Leslie, have a go. So England break out, first through winger, then fullback to the other winger via Johnny Wilkinson. Paul Saki tackled by Simon Webster.
Yeah.
Penalty advantage being played for England. Wigglesworth waits. Flood to Steve Borthwick.
Side entry.
Well, that was against Alistair Hogg. Saw it straight away. As soon as the ball was on the floor, did not retreat round the back foot, coming a bit adjacent to the back player. Watch here, the first man in. There. But what the problem for England is after that, they've all just died in midfield. They weren't able to create any momentum.
Half back. Yeah, some of that.
Yeah, it's been it's been a non-event really. Conditions are poor. One milestone, of course, is that Johnny Wilkinson has gone through Neil Jenkins' record, and here he has a chance to extend his hold on his own record.
And you're right, conditions aren't particularly good, but they play in this sort of weather in other countries and don't necessarily resort simply kicking the ball. And some team, you know, if it comes to a kicking duel, it's a lottery because both kickers are good. That's short.
Johnny Wilkinson misses. Headline. The wind is with Scotland. Yeah, sort of with Scotland. The curtain of rain is sweeping them across the field and downfield, as you can tell by the Dan Parks effortlessly gets that up over the halfway line. Nick Easter didn't knock it on, and bang, the ball goes into the air. Good capture, Mike Blair, underneath it yet again. Good offload to Chris Patterson. Dan Parks.
Right six, right. Yeah, you're on.
Johnny Wilkinson. Ooh. Well, Scotland gained territory because that one skewed off Wilkinson's boot.
Now then, just before half-time, Scotland into England's half. 3 or 4 drives, drop goal, wait for a penalty. It would be ideal for them to come away with the score just before half-time. It's always important to just reinforce their belief. They've played more rugby this half.
Off the top ball again for the centres to do their midfield stuff. In Scotland's case, it's just driving hard. Those midfield rucks. And then the forwards take over. Mike Blair trips, regathers. England firmly up in defence. Penalty advantage for Scotland. Mike Blair dropped goal. He knew exactly what he was doing. It's going to be a chance for Chris Patterson to extend the lead. Simon Shaw has been pinpointed by the referee.
Well, exactly as I said, keep the ball, multiple phases, see if you can get a drop goal attempt or see if you can extract a penalty. And they've done that, and as this man is perfect so far, you put a lot of money in giving Scotland a 6-point lead going into the break, and the rainbow comes out again, as if by magic.
It's the sort of Patterson rainbow. And it's a double one again. Jonathan Caplan, the referee, explains to England captain Phil Vickery what the penalty was for. Frank Haddon looks on. When you're on form like that, the luck goes with you. And Chris Patterson knows it. Delight. Total miss it. 3 points for the Scotland number 10, who's now playing on the wing. And Scotland have a lead at half-time in the Calcutta Cup match. It's Scotland 9, England 3. will settle for intriguing, John. Might brighten up in the second half. Rain's cleared. A peep of sunshine on that far stand. And we're off. No changes at half-time. Dan Parks, who came on as a replacement for Rory Lamont in the first half, will get the second half underway. It's been one of the themes of the Six Nations, what goes on at half-time. We've had a lot of contrasting performances, mostly involving England. So what will they come up with at Murrayfield? If they don't get seriously better, they're going to lose this, and it's not a good start for their second half.
Now might this be reversed? Don't tell me it's Nathan Hines.
There's enough tension in the game for this kind of thing not to happen. Yeah, right? No more.
Well, you're right, Brian. It was the volatile Nathan Hines, and he knows he's got away with it. What did he do?
A flailing arm, maybe.
Played a lot of rugby league in Australia, did Big Nathan. Chris Patterson keeps the old legs going. 4 from 4. Just does not miss.
And England have presented Scotland with the best possible start. Oh no, a pat on the back this time. Hearty congratulations. But a poor decision by Johnny Wilkinson to try and dither around with the ball and get caught.
Yeah. Andrew Sheridan was the recipient of the pat. And you know, Sheridan's given away a few penalties today. He was so good in Paris.
That was in Paris. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. Good drive by the Scotland forwards. They have risen to the challenge so far. Scotland, of course, without a win in the Six Nations, score of only 1 try through Simon Webster, but they're finding their form against England.
Right there.
Dan Parks. They'll be quite happy to keep the ball towards the touchlines. Leslie Vainicolo. Scotland swarm around the big winger. Vainicolo presents Wilkinson.
Keep rolling.
England from inside their own half through Toby Flood. Michael Lippman. Good tackle by Graham Morrison. Borthwick to Lee Mears. Bath and Bath. Nick Easter. Lee Mears is down injured, holding his head. England edge into the Scotland half. Wilkinson. We're back to the aerial route. Hugo Southwell. Good kick.
Well, a pointless kick by Johnny Wilkinson, or badly executed, it doesn't matter which, because there was no England pressure under that ball. Southwell, because he was under no pressure, picked his spot and kicked well. And the thing about it is, because Scotland now have got a lead of over a converted try, they can do that all day and force England and say to England, have you got anything to come at us? And at the moment, it's like watching a game in slow motion when England have the ball.
There just seems a lack of zip about England today. I don't know if there's been a sort of general reaction to the events of the week, whether they're just unsettled by the Scottish performance, but it's not happening, and Scotland have stolen the ball on the England throw.
Right there, 8. Number 5.
Scotland, as Brian said, will very happily play this game all day now. And there's 36 minutes to go. Ooh, that's not good. England regather and then drop it. Went backwards. Michael Lippman makes ground forwards. Wilkinson.
That's terrible. That's absolutely awful.
It puts pressure back on England. Nick Easter does well and delivers the pass. Johnny Wilkinson is buried at the bottom. Oh, that's good. And that's not good. And it's Simon Shaw, who's normally got such good hands, and so it simply isn't happening for England, and a certain frustration creeps into their game.
Well, he should have taken that, but individual error. I don't understand this option at all.
Sometimes the ball's out, and you're like thinking about your options.
Where is that going?
I want you to get caught. So just try and play the ball a bit quicker.
I don't know. Let's get one thing out of the way, Eddie. The Cipriani thing has nothing to do with this performance. They've been in camp, they've come up here, and they're playing without ambition, without any contact skills, and they're taking bad options.
Okay. Scrum down.
Square. Don't move. Crouch. Touch. Pause. Engage.
Scotland put in through Mike Blair. They creak a little and then stabilise themselves. Simon Taylor tackled by Michael Lippman.
No!
Penalty against England coming in from the side.
1, 2, 3 players all from the side.
And not just one of them.
3 different players.
There you are, 3 different players. Simon Taylor, ball back here.
1, 2.
That's 2. Couldn't see 3, but it doesn't matter. And again, Scotland will stay in the England half with a throw.
Keep the shape.
Although they've had some problems on the line out, they've manufactured enough ball.
Play on.
Not
England
here.
steal that one. And Wilkinson back to the kicking game, straight down the throat of Southwell. And Southwell has a good run. Play on. No foul on Hugo Southwell. Ian Balshaw sets up the ruck. And England give away another penalty. I just wonder whether the referee was thinking penalty somewhere. What do you think?
No, he made his decision independently from the first one. I don't think the two are linked. That's not a penalty anyway.
Jamie Noon under no obligation to get out of the way. He can.
It's not a penalty. The second one, hanging on, was a penalty. And more importantly, it's 12 yards further forward.
Talk to me.
No, it's not a penalty. I don't care how many people boo. Hasn't changed direction.
No penalty. Well, we've agreed on something.
But the point is here, do you agree that this may well...
I think it's very interesting. It's obviously a very difficult kick, this. There's Frank Haddon. Meanwhile, Dan Parks is lining up a long-range kick at goal. It sort of takes the pressure off Chris Patterson's record, doesn't it? There's Chris Patterson banging over that last 29 kicks, or is it 30 now? Oh, somebody tell me. And here's Dan Parks with a difficult one.
But the other thing is... Yes, he's got it.
Very good kick by Dan Parks, and Scotland's lead grows. So it's not just Chris Patterson who can bang him over. Scotland are warming to this task, and they're getting better, and England are just showing signs of falling apart.
Yeah, but again, that penalty came ultimately from an aimless kick straight down the middle of the field by Johnny Wilkinson.
Yeah. It's 2 things we agree on. Taylor again. And Scotland are starting to bump off a few. Oh, he was stripped in the tackle. So England have a chance to attack inside the Scotland 22. Here they come.
Advantage white.
A penalty advantage to England as Toby Flood drives on. So the reply by England immediate. Simon Taylor lost the ball, and England have a chance to put points on the board. It seems a long time since England kicked a penalty to the corner. Good tackle,
It is
Sheridan.
a long time. Good steal there. And Scotland giving a penalty by being in front of the back foot and interfering with the delivery of the ball by Wigglesworth, but an induced error only.
15-3 was starting to look a bit menacing, but here's Johnny Wilkinson with a chance to bring it back to 9 points. Still a fair old margin on a day such as this. Windy, wet conditions.
Fair bit of booing.
End result familiar. Johnny Wilkinson puts another 6 points on his record total.
But Eddie, can you answer that? I can't remember England creating anything apart from when they tried to drive a ball from a line out that was given after a penalty.
No, it's been a very uncreative afternoon so far for England.
Get on sides, Blue.
Many times in the past they've looked to the forwards to get them out of trouble,
Roll away. 5.
but those forwards are having to operate from a long way out. That's the England 22, and another kick goes down a Scotland player's throat. This time it was Dan Parks who took it well. Mike Blair ducks, darts, looks for the offload, settles for the ruck. Scotland not going for risky passes out of the tackle situation.
Okay, now leave it white. One.
Again, Andrew Sheridan has to leave the ball alone. Chris Patterson feeds Parks, and again, that's not a great kick.
That's a shocker.
Nicky Walker picks up the bouncing ball. Nobody claimed it, but and again we have a penalty at the breakdown. Scotland going over the top, and England
Sealed it off.
going from that position
Blue
of
players
trailing
sealed it
by
off.
12 points, have a second penalty to
And was turned in the tackle.
put them back within 6 points.
Well, they caught him here. Flood is on the wrong side, but there are Scotland players over the ball. 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. The referee has come down on England's side. But that again, ultimately, from a bad kick.
Wind assisted. No problem for Johnny Wilkinson. 9 points to his name now. England still trail. They've clawed their way back into this. 6 easy points for them. Scotland, 2 penalties. Yielded.
Well, you're right. One sense clawed in the sense that they've got closer on the scoreboard, but they've been given the points.
Simon Shaw with the catch.
Hold Blue, no hands.
Wigglesworth takes the kicking duty on himself. Crunching follow-up tackle. Scotland have done well to get that back because there was huge pressure on the side that had to turn and go back for that. Dan Parks needs to put a good little period together here. His last 2 kicks have been poor. Here he goes. Ian Balshaw has to go all the way back to his own line. At least the pressure remains on the England 22 for the moment. Jamie Noon thinking about taking it quickly. So Scotland have got England where they want them, down here.
They have, Eddie, but what they've got to remember is what brought them success in the first half, which was playing with ball in hand and then creating the position from where they could do that. If they carry on in this way, they will reduce it just to a crapshoot where kickers go in and out.
Simon Taylor.
Keep rolling!
Well, he got away with it in the end, but that nearly put England in another good position, and it would have been the biggest gift of them all. Nicky Walker, good offload. But then Michael Littman, good tackle. Scotland forced out of play, which was not the object of their exercise.
See, they're doing things they weren't doing in the first half. Well, he gets it in the end, but in the first half, Scotland were able to keep the ball. They were able to, I got hit by Littman there, but they were able to keep the ball, and they were able to put England under pressure, and that's what induced the penalties. If they don't do that this half and simply kick the ball away aimlessly, they may well still win the game, but it's going to give England an opportunity.
Tom Croft wins line-out ball. Johnny Wilkinson to Vainikolo in midfield. Good tackle on him by Graham Morrison. England keep the play going that way, away from us. And they'll hit that side again. Slowly. Kick. Different.
Yeah, but
varied.
Eddie,
yeah,
but Eddie, 3 phases, kick.
It's difficult to think of anything too constructive about all this. Final score coming up almost immediately on BBC Two. Quarter-finals of the FA Cup coming up live. Barnsley against Chelsea, 5:15. And our interactive forum, also at 5:15. Yeah, what to pick out of this one? That's good work, good skills at the Scottish line-out. Paul Saki. England still having to operate from deep. A Johnny Wilkinson kick puts Scotland in their own half, but it's an easy catch. Southwell. Yep, he knew exactly what he was looking for. Touchline. England in their 22. Johnny Wilkinson's kicking, Brian, I mean, you rarely have an opportunity to criticise him, but he's just making life easy for the Scottish back three.
Yeah, it isn't. Yes, it isn't just the fact though that sometimes he's not executing the kicks properly. It's the very fact that seems to be the option which he's chosen in the first place. And you know, England, as I say, I can't count many times when they put more than 2 or 3 phases together. And if they carry on this way, well, you know, Scotland leading the game for a start off. It just didn't seem sensible to me.
Croft wins another line-out for England. Lee Mears has a little nibble and is put down. That's better. At least it's tight to the touchline. Vainikolo completes a well-managed little operation there.
Yeah, that's fine. That's a tactically astute kick, executed well. And in fact, Wigglesworth's kicks have been the best of all the England kicks that there have been, because they've got players underneath them.
Leslie Vainikolo makes his way into midfield.
It's from here, Eddie, this sort of position where England have got to have the faith to keep the ball, to put ball together, put phases together.
Well, they're trying, because
goal.
Croft off the top at least launched Vainikolo into midfield. A little bit more urgency about this. Oh, it's a penalty advantage to England. They got something out of it. Oh, it's a sterile old game, though. A foot into the Scottish half, and they'll take the penalty. Offside.
But Eddie, I mean, the game is easy from up here. I do understand that, but as I said, if you keep the ball, you've at least got the opportunity, you know, to get penalties like that. If you kick ball away after 2 or 3 phases, nothing is ever more certain than you cannot score.
OK, England prepare for a rare attacking option. Shane Geraghty.
Hi, Eddie. I think the next score here is going to be crucial. If England can get another penalty, then it really brings them back into the game. On the other hand, if Scotland can get a penalty, they can really push out and get beyond the converted try. So the next score is crucial.
Lee Mears. Scottish 22. Ian Balshaw has stretched the England three-quarter right across the field. Forwards, though, through Simon Shaw. They win the ball. It's on the deck. Mears.
Ian Balshaw is actually stood off the field at the moment on the left-hand side.
Flood to Vainicolo. Quicker ball. Vickery to Saki.
Okay, now start.
Borthwick forward to Easter. Oh dear.
Again, not managed more than 3 phases.
Can I just move you guys to the side?
Yeah. Well, there you are.
Five penalties against 3. Scotland lead. It's a grim old game. Scrum goes down, will be reset. Scotland put in. Last quarter has been entered. Will we have a little spark in this game?
You see what I say, second half territory, England well behind.
Wind up here.
Simon Taylor to Mike Blair. Tom Croft. It will be a Scotland line-out after a very scrappy end to the scrummage.
Interesting, Eddie. I mean, normally you'd be talking about the collision battle, the battle between the back rows for ball on the ground, etc. All that's been bypassed in this game. It's all been bypassed because there's been little or no continuity.
Fergus Thompson goes back to sort out a bobbling line-out. The replacement hooker did well there. Blair. Nicky Walker in hot pursuit. Vainicolo drops the ball. Scotland scrum advantage. So not an easy day.
Silla's now decided to come out.
Don't shift.
It's the only bright bit of the day, really.
Wind up.
Lovely setting. Ropey old game. Good England scrummage. They have to use it quickly, Scotland. That's good play by the England scrummagers. Jason White, the former captain, was coming off the bench. Of course, Scotland had to use replacements earlier. Scott McLeod of the Hereford Scarlets comes off, so Jason White goes where? Up into the second row? Yes, straight replacement.
Don't shift. Don't shift. Crouch. You'll get penalised. Now get your head right.
Jonathan Kaplan wants shifting. I mean, they want wriggling around, changing the straight drive, is it, Brian?
Pause. Go. Wind up here. One.
That's a good scrummage by Scotland. We are reduced to finding good things to say, but those are two good disruptive bits of scrummaging work, one by England, one by Scotland. Whew.
The referee isn't helping here though, because the commands crouch, touch, pause, engage need to be said much quicker. That's better. Much better. Yep.
Ewan Murray penalised for dropping the scrum.
Defensive collapse to stop the wheel. Then again, it was an early wheel. If you watch here, before the ball comes in, England have moved that scrum. They shouldn't be doing that. But then again, when they come under pressure, the arm slips, the band slips down onto the arm, turns it in. Now, England are in Scottish territory, and can they fashion anything at all?
The bench will become a busy place in this last quarter, presumably. Jonathan Kaplan can't hear the signals. Alistair Dickinson comes on into the front row. Alan Jacobson goes off. Pretty tense. One score would could completely change things. Now then, England, what can they do? Toby Flood, they give it some width at last. Bolshaw, Saki outside him. Well, they're over the advantage line. Wilkinson to Lee Mears. Toby Flood, England. Vainikolo hasn't made much of an impact in that midfield. Tom Croft to Paul Saki. England retain possession. Flood. There's Flood again. Saki. Could have been a little bit forward.
Wasn't that really the worst thing? Was he was still
static,
absolutely still.
Yeah. So England went across the advantage line with their first passing movement. They've been going steadily backwards. Now they've got a bit of movement. Phil Vickery tackled by Nathan Hines, who has to get out of the way.
Very slow.
Scotland have pinched it. Blair. Ali Hogg picks up, gets his legs pumping. The crowd respond. Some life at last. The turn of the ball, it's gone stagnant again. The ball stuck at the base. Penalty Scotland. They won't mind at all. They'll be happy enough with that. They've got a 6-point cushion to protect. England start to send on the replacements. Ben Kay on the touchline.
Well, it's the second time England have been caught doing that.
2 and 4.
Jonathan Kaplan can't drag the man who's trying to pass the ball into the ruck. Ceded it's only the second bit of possession they've had in the Scotland half.
Lee Mears comes off. Ben Kay comes on. George Shooter comes on. Simon Shaw goes off. And it's Toby Flood as well who's coming off. So Matthew Tate is on. Newcastle replaces Newcastle there, and England have won a line out, then hand it back. Knock-ons, scrum down. Simon Shaw. That sort of look sums up the England performance.
Shift far side, please. Touch.
England trail by 6 points. They're inside their own half. The scrummage has gone okay. Wilkinson, that's for Vainikolo the chase, but Southwell gets there first. Good offload for Nicky Walker. Mike Blair. Ali Hogg plays scrum half.
Roll away.
Better by Scotland, building something up here. Dan Parks. Out to Fergus Thompson, the hooker. Good surge there. Hogg again, just bridges, leaves it for Blair. Jason White. Hesitation by Blair, but now Scotland make the ground forward. Dickinson. Parks. They love the midfield ruck. Dan Parks, poor kick. Wilkinson. Richard Wigglesworth drove it forward. Johnny Wilkinson. It's a touch. What about Johnny Wilkinson? Andy, you've been looking at him.
Yeah, I mean, if Scotland are going to close out this game with 12 minutes to go, then they've got to put severe pressure on Johnny Wilkinson. We've got a line out here that we can see that if Mike Blair was to put pressure on him from the back of this line out, here it is here, I've highlighted Mike Blair. Watch the pressure that the Scotland captain puts on Johnny Wilkinson. If Scotland are going to win this game, this is the kind of pressure they've got to put the England playmaker under.
Scrum down, England ball. And more replacements come on. Craig Smith has come on for Scotland. And Matt Stevens and Charlie Hodgson is back in international rugby. Here he comes, 22. And it is Johnny Wilkinson who's going off. And the captain, Phil Vickery, comes off. It's interesting to see who gets the armband here. Steve Borthwick, presumably. Good England drive at the scrimmage. Wigglesworth disturbed as he tried to get the pass away. Southwell outside his 22. That'll be a scrum. Oh no, great kick. Great kick by Hugo Southwell. I beg his pardon. I thought that was going to go straight out, but it's made Scotland a great deal of ground.
Yeah, but again, England had their own putting in the scrum. The ball went right. It wasn't Bolshaw's fault because the ball just dropped at his feet. A very poor pass. And England find themselves back in their own half.
Stay out.
George Shooter. Slightly hairier George Shooter than he was last time he came on the international field. So the forwards try and set up the platform. England trail by only 6 points. There should be a sense of rising drama here at Murrayfield, but the game has been so dreary that it's hard to get excited, but maybe it will come to life in these closing 10 minutes. Forwards don't make any ground.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, ball's up, but it's fine, they've got it.
Charlie Hodgson.
Right there.
Chris Patterson, hold and a touch by Paul Saki. England throw at a line-out, so I suppose it wasn't a bad kick.
Well, it was made better by the fact that the chase was good from Saki. And he really,
7 blue.
because he was running that way, Patterson had no opportunity to stop earlier.
The last set of replacements are made. Kelly Brown comes on. Ali Hogg goes off. They've had a good day, the Scottish back row, just stopping England playing. Jill.
Well, a crucial 10-minute period coming up now. Shane Geraghty, we've seen Johnny Wilkinson come off at the same time as Phil Vickery. A big call from Brian Ashton.
Yeah, it's a kind of all or nothing. If it comes off, it's a great call, but I think the next 10 minutes we'll see. Hopefully England can start to play it with a bit more ambition and really take Scotland on and play a bit more rugby, and hopefully that will lead to a try, and but we'll see.
Hodgson, twice involved in this move. Here's Matt Stevens, the prop. Sheridan with a couple of yards.
Hold there.
Wigglesworth, it's Sale at scrum half and outside half with Hodgson on the field. Jamie Noon, Matthew Tate outside him.
Leave it wide.
Scotland have turned it over. And the roar tells you Scotland back in control. Dan Parks, that's been touched in flight. Scotland pour forward on Leslie Vainicolo. Good tackle by Morrison. Tackled well, the Scottish centre. Good tackle, excellent work. Jason White, trademark tackle by the Sale man, and the roar will tell you everything.
Well, Scotland are scrapping for everything, and well they might for the last 5 or 6 to go. Saki not at full tilt, but tremendous textbook tackle. They get in behind him. But again, Eddie, you know, if you haven't the ambition or you haven't the ability to create continuity, which England haven't had today, they turned over the ball just before that, then you are not going to get anywhere. And Scotland haven't really done that much in the second half, but they haven't needed to. They've played the percentages, that they've tackled really well, and England have not been able to do anything about it.
Michael Lippmann comes off. Frustrating day for a 7. He's had nothing to chase. Luke Narroway comes on. I just think what Scotland have protected in games they have won here over England. A 6-point lead, Brian, both times. 06.
Well, they don't look like losing.
Last time. No.
They don't look like losing this game, do they? When have you thought England would score a try? Never.
No.
Ball is out.
Well, apart from the drives near the line, from the penalties. From open play, not a chance.
Okay, hold there, no
And I hate
hands.
to disagree with Shane Geraghty, but I don't think it was a big call to take those two off, because they were playing badly.
Luke Narroway with the red cap on, trying to do some disruptive work of his own. Andrew Sheridan drives in hard, but the point is Scotland still have the ball, and the seconds are ticking down.
Well, they need to have the maturity to keep driving the ball. As long as they keep the ball, England can't score. It's a very, very simple game.
Hold there.
Surely they can't keep this going for 5+ minutes. We've become used to seeing these run-down situations where the forwards just keep the ball and
No hands.
tuck it away.
No hands. Counter-ruck's okay.
Craig Smith sets up the ruck. England have stolen the ball. So, is there to be a twist in this drab tale?
No advantage. Wait.
The other thing, Eddie, is this: is if England had lost, if they lose this game, which they look like doing, and they'd lost to Italy, which they almost did, they'd be looking at the wooden spoon.
Frank Hadden, the Scottish coach. Is the Scottish duck going to be broken? Rory Lawson, the last of the replacements. I think Mike Blair has had an outstanding game.
He has had an outstanding game, as indeed, well, you know, that the halfbacks for Scotland have run the game well, by and large, and that's been backed up by a very physical effort up front.
Another Gloucester player comes onto the field. Rory Lawson, Alistair Strokosh, Chris Patterson.
And if England were to win this game, which they don't look like doing, it wouldn't be. I would say sport isn't fair, but you know they wouldn't deserve to.
Touch, pause, engage.
Richard Wigglesworth has a chance to launch something. England scrummage. That's their own 10-metre line. Lawson did good spoiling work there, and Hodgson caught behind the advantage line. They have to build from very deep. Scottish tackling thorough.
Right there, you're off.
Easter offloads to Andrew Sheridan. Bash into Simon Webster. Good tackling, but England are at least into the Scottish half. Jamie Noon fires it out to Charlie Hodgson. Matthew Tate. They're back in their own half, England. Wigglesworth. Matt Stevens. That's the halfway line.
Penalty to Scotland.
No.
He's in his hand out, didn't he?
He did.
But they're turning over anyway.
Lawson towards Vainicolo. Good kick. It's put no advantage.
Yeah, it was
Scotland have the penalty. Oh, hard week for Brian Ashton. This has been a miserable performance by England. It really has.
White in there. Well, England ball carrier not releasing. Man on his feet, allowed to play the ball. It doesn't really matter. Well, this is a good call because it will just run the ball down. If they catch the line out, they can drive it again.
Few precious moments to go. The forum follows this game. The chat presumably will be livelier than the action, although who knows, Scotland might end with a flourish, and that really would electrify Murrayfield. I mean, basically, Brian, they've thoroughly deserved their win, if a win it is to be.
Yeah, I mean, if you are absolutely straight down the line about this, Scotland have played a limited game. They've played it very, very well. They've been physically more adept than England, and England have been poor. They've been put under pressure by Scotland, and they haven't been able to cope with it.
1 and a bit minutes to go, and I don't think the ball will go much further than here. As long as Scotland can control it, they can take themselves up to 80. The clock will go red, and somebody will boot the ball into touch, and that'll be it. Calcutta Cup to Scotland. While this is going on, Brian, have you thought about your man of the match?
Yes, and unfortunately for the viewers at home, you can't see him because he's in the changing room, but my obvious Six Nations man of the match is the former Scottish captain, on the field, Mike Blair. I thought his first half performance was absolutely exemplary, and I thought that he's provided an effective link tactically and shown no small amount of physical commitment and skill.
Here we go, into the last minute. Scotland have the ball. And they've lost it. Oh, there we go. Charlie Hodgson, he kicks it. I don't believe that.
What is the point in doing that when there's 40 seconds to go?
Hugo Southwell stays inside his 22. Hodgson, well. I mean, they've taken it quickly, and Bolshaw can't get away, so...
There's going to be a penalty here.
England have the ball, and 18, 17, 16, 15 seconds to do something. Matthew Tate caught. Borthwick. So there is a bit of a session to go. The tackle by Morrison on Vainicolo. Graham Morrison has actually contained Vainicolo very well. Jamie Noon. England still going backwards when in possession.
Well, it's great Scottish commitment, isn't it? They're just whacking people. And England, predictable lines. And the Scots are lapping it up.
Nick Easter, Saki. Simon Taylor makes a tackle. Help from Simon Webster. A converted try would still win it for England. We're into overtime.
Why did you laugh then?
Oh, just trying to inject some sort of drama into this.
I'm sure it's not because of the ridiculous absurdity of that suggestion.
Bolshaw, Tom Craft, Scotland will want to get him into touch.
They will get him into touch.
Oh, England end up being bundled into touch. The Calcutta goes to Frank Haddon side. Scotland's Six Nations is barren no more because they have beaten England at Murrayfield. 5 penalties against England's 3. Scotland 15, England 9.
Well, can't say it wasn't deserved. From start to finish, Scotland were cannier. They control the ball better in the loose. They put more phases of play together, and the fact that they didn't get over the try line doesn't matter because nearly every department they outplayed England. It didn't produce any tries, but they didn't need to because England were poor, and Scotland fully deserved that win.